go, Cowboy Nation. Yeah. Yes, indeed. Really appreciate you. I'm gonna let the room fill up. Yes. This is another show. Really appreciate you all. Thank you all for tuning in. My name is Law Nation. That's L-A-W Nation. And you all are listening in to absolutely nothing but the best. Let's go, Cowboy Nation. All right, so we're going to talk a little bit about this Ezekiel Elliott conversation for the nation. We're going to give you guys some of my thoughts on contract talks and being a Cowboy player for life, right? We hear those things all the time from players and star athletes. I want to be a Cowboy player for life. I want to do this for the rest of my life. I want to do that for the rest of my life. But certain things relates to certain causes, meaning that in order for you to be on this team, there's a certain sacrifice you have to make. And that's what Stephen Jones is saying. And I'm not saying that Jerry Jones is saying it, but I'm saying that, hey, this is what Stephen Jones is saying. In order for you to be in the situation that you will want to be in, you will have to take some sacrifices. Now, I do know on the other end, or the other argument of it will be that he's already taken his sacrifices, right? He's the number one running back in this National Football League. I can really just say this wholeheartedly, that there's no other running back like Ezekiel Elliott. He's unique. Generational. Now, he did made a stance that Emmitt Smith once played for another team, but that was bald-headed Emmitt. That was Emmitt with gray hair on his beard. You know, shout out to Emmitt Smith, one of the greatest running backs of all time to ever wear the silver and blue. But that was old Emmitt, you see. Emmitt Smith done already earned his stripes out there. This is still young Ezekiel Elliott. He still got hair on his head. He still got hair on his beard. He still got hair all over his body. You see what I'm saying? Old Emmitt went to Arizona and he said that was the worst move of his life. If you don't think it was, then check out the documentary of Emmitt Smith talking and recounting the time that he had to play against the Dallas Cowboys. It was a horrible situation for him, leading out of the locker room, I guess the players' locker room, to then join in on the field on the opposite side. So that's just something that I would like to put out there on the table. Now, I would say this, if you guys read the article that he's spoken with, I think it's on 105.3 The Fans webpage there, that he's saying that he wants these things. And let me know how you guys feel about it too, because in reality, and this is just the reality of it, is that you can't have both. You can't be the highest paid running back and then expecting for us to get to the Super Bowl. I mean, that window, you still have other players to pay. Now, it's just how it goes. I wish that we can make things up, but I can't. I just have to give you guys the truth. Still got milk behind the ear. Groovy 3000 says that. Yeah, he does. Meticulous Cowboy 86. Really appreciate you. Thank you for tuning in. The prediction too. My thing is we're going to do a full show on that Friday, so that it will be real close to the deadline there. And I think that they got to get this roster down to 53 by Saturday. So we'll go over that. Shout out to you, Tom Jasper. Really appreciate you. And Jimmy, he says, what's up? Thank you for tuning in on the YouTube page. And shout out to everybody that's on the Facebook panel and also on the Discord link. I really appreciate you all for tuning in there. This is the thing. I'm going to go ahead and move on from Ezekiel Elliott for right now and talk a little bit about Byron Jones. A lot of people, I hear a lot of people saying that they would rather pay Byron Jones before they pay Amari Cooper, before they pay Dak Prescott, and before they pay Ezekiel Elliott. It's hard to find a shutdown corner. Now, I do know that Byron Jones do not get a lot of turnovers and do not get a lot of takeaways, but for you to shut down a certain side of the field, that speaks volumes. Think about this. as much money they gave, I'm talking about the New Orleans Saints, as much money they gave Michael Thomas, how did he do when he played against the Dallas Cowboys? Was it worth the $20 million that he's going to get annually? You see, from whatever production that number 13 did for the New Orleans Saints. So when you have a cornerback that can take that guy off the field, your highest, production guy that's on their particular team. And then shout out to Jordan Lewis, too. I'm not going to sully or denigrate him for doing his job against Kamara. But I'm saying that when you have a guy, Byron Jones, his first year back at corner, because we already know that he belongs there, is that when you have a guy that can take away that side of the field, it limits the quarterback. And especially when you have the defensive front four creating pressure, knocking the quarterback off his marker. Oh, my goodness. That is how you play in the National Football League. You eliminate. You force them to do something strange. You force them to do something that they are not accustomed to do. And that's taking away their best asset. And when you can do that, then you will have games like the New Orleans Saints game. You will. So what Byron Jones' salary may be, 13 mil, 14 mil a year. It can be around those areas. Now, one thing that we don't want to happen is Jalen Ramsey to get his money, and then everything else escalates from there. So we got to look at everything. These contracts, that's what Stephen Jones is doing. That is what Will McClay is. He's scouting people, but Stephen Jones is looking at the aspect of, hey, if we pay Ezekiel Elliott, see, all this stuff ties into one. It's like a conundrum, basically. What you do to one side, you got to do to the other, and it's going to be a cog in the system. So you got to look at everything from A to Z, you see. All right, so that's how I got to look at it, too. When you don't pay one guy, the other guy may not get his money in return, too. So we got to look at those type of things, especially as it relates to the Dallas Cowboys. We must figure out a way. Now, if you're saying that you want to be a Cowboys for life, and then you sit around and don't show up for practice, training camp, all off season, you don't show up, and then all of a sudden you want to be a Cowboys for life, that doesn't equals outright, in my opinion. Now, could Ezekiel Elliott, did he play last year in preseason? No. But could Ezekiel Elliott just show up? Yes, he could have just shown up, and that way you can get the negotiations done quicker. You can get everything done faster. And then on top of that, you can actually get things going because now they can say, okay, look, some of the reservations that we had about Ezekiel Elliott are all gone now, you see. So that's what I'm talking about. When you have a team that understands what a team together, everyone achieves more. So that's what I'm talking about, Cowboy Nation. And when we look at the total picture of this thing, Cowboys, we must figure out a way. Just hear me out on this. We must figure out a way to pay this man. If not, and I'm talking about not paying him like the highest of the highs just because you want to pay him the highest of the highs. But what I'm saying, we must figure out a way to pay this man a reasonable contract and say to himself and say to ourselves, okay, let's get on about these trophies. Let's get on about these rings. You see above my head, I got 5 Super Bowl rings. One in 1971, one in 1977, the other in 1992 and 93 and 95. Look, it's been too long for us not to have another one. So do you want to be the highest paid running back or do you want one of those hardwares? Now, one can argue and say, okay, yes, you can be one of the highest paid guys, but what about Byron Jones? Who's going to help you out on the defensive side of the ball? We still got D-Law. We paid him. We fool around and paid Jalen Smith. But what to do about the other guys? Do you still want this nucleus? Do you still want this team to be together? Because, see, in my opinion, of course, Sean Lee understood the grain. You see what I'm saying? Not trying to compare Ezekiel Elliott to Sean Lee of all people, but he knew for sure that if he wanted to be on this team, he had to make the sacrifice. He had to say to himself, hey, I've been injured for the past years or what have you, and I still want to play for this team for the rest of my life. So I'm going to say, okay, whatever user-friendly contract you have in store for me, I'm going to sign. Because if not, Stephen Jones probably talked to Jerry and said, hey, from my understanding and from my small limited mind of my small limited information, this was his second contract that they gave him. I guess the first one was so outlandish that it was like, nah, we're not even going to dance with that. But the second contract that they got on the table, and everybody was calling, hey, fake news law. I said, okay. You don't take that long to not turn down a decision. They gave him in between Le'Veon Bell and Todd Gurley's money. Now, I would say this. Some people can argue and say, hey, just pay the man. But I got the same argument saying that, hey, this guy's 2 years out from his contract. I would believe with every fiber of my being, if Ezekiel Elliott came to practice, came to every training camp, and then didn't have this Vegas situation going on, maybe he can have a ground to stand on and say, okay, I deserve to be the highest of the highest of the highest, right? But no, we had the Vegas situation. We had the $20 million that they are being sued for because somebody was late for practice. They ran the red light. They ran into somebody, and it so happened to be the owner's vehicle. We don't know what other rulings and laws that there was violations of, according to the salary cap and things like that, paying players under the table. So I know that Jerry Jones is slicker than a can of oil. I know he had to slide his way through that. See, people fail to realize piece by piece, you add all these things up together and you getting this situation that we are in right now. So my thing is with Ezekiel Elliott, if he would have just said, okay, I'm going to play this year out. And then after this year, I'm not going to sign nothing. I'm not going to show up for anything. Because then you will have 1 year out. You see, the trend was with Todd Gurley, yes, the Rams paid him 2 years before his salary was up or whatever his rookie deal was up. And, of course, as they say, the Jones effect, you want to get what your neighbors are getting. But not everybody's team is structured in the same sense. You see, I don't think that the LA Rams got a Jalen Smith. I don't think that the LA Rams got a Byron Jones. I don't think that the LA Rams got a Amari Cooper. I don't think that they have the same amount of players that we have. They don't have that front five offensive line that we have. You see what I'm saying? So you can't put everybody in the same boat. But the NFL is fickle in the sense that everybody like to see that setup, and they will say to themselves, okay, this is how we're going to do this. Shout out to you, Terrell. He says, did he say that it was the owner's vehicle? Did he say it was the owner's vehicle? It wasn't. That vehicle wasn't owned by Ezekiel Elliott, nor his daddy or his mommy. That was a vehicle owned by the Dallas Cowboys. And he wrecked it. He hit somebody. They covered it up. Now the people saying, look, it's a money grab situation. I want $20 million. That's just how life is. People will sue you for just about anything. Appreciate the donation to help grow the nation. Really appreciate it. George Mayer says that he agreed. Cowboys fan 421. What's up? He says, what's up, fam? Shout out to you and your whole entire family. Guys, don't forget to put down where you all are from. I love to see that. Remember this. We are the only nation that can say, hey, I'm from Backdoor, Mississippi, or I'm from Backdoor, Idaho, and stuff like that. So I really appreciate that. And Joseph Sandberg says, also the Rams GM approached Gurley agent, not other team. What is it? Not other ran away from me. He said not the other way around. Okay, he approaches the agent. Yeah, so it's a lot of things going into play. And Todd Gurley off the field issues and situation is different. Not one shoe fits all type of category. And of course, Ezekiel Elliott been our bell cow, and Ezekiel Elliott on the field just been lights out, nice, But of course, we had all of the other ancillary stuff that happened with Ezekiel Elliott that we just can't just sit back and say, okay, it's 100% Ezekiel Elliott's fault. Some other stuff goes along the way with the Roger Goodells of the world, right? But I had a wise man to say this once to me, and it just grew on me. And just let me know if I'm wrong. Not everybody's lying on you. Just let that sink into your mental. Not everybody's lying on you. Meaning that in some type of situations, when trouble continue to follow you and find you and knock on your door, and trouble says, hey, what's up? Let's kick it. and it keeps finding you, And it don't find the Jalen Smiths of the world, and it don't find an Amari Cooper. It just keep finding a guy that wear 2-1. It just say, hey, I'm trouble. Come on. Come hang out with me. I'm the DJ. Oh, you punched me in my mouth. My jaw is on the other side of the table now. Oh, okay. Or I pull down the top of a lady. Trouble. But we can use youth or age as a factor. But why or how come Jalen Smith is not doing the same things, Or how come Amari Cooper, of all people, are not getting caught with the same transgressions? Or what? Appreciate you. Thank you for being part of the nation as well. Or if you're on the Facebook panel, please hit that share and do a quick review on Cowboys Experience, because under Cowboys Experience, all you got to do is go to that website that's in the description box, www.cowboysexperience.com, and you can get a chance to meet and greet with Drew Pearson. I'm talking about a Hall of Famer. Should be in the Hall of Famer. We got to do a drive to get Drew Pearson in the Hall of Fame. That's what we need to do, Cowboy Nation, because we got the Hall of Fame quarterback that threw the Hail Mary, but the person that received the ball is not in the Hall. You know what I mean? Look, that rhymes. Look, you got the Hall of Fame quarterback that threw the ball, but the person that received the ball is not in the Hall. Come on, man. Come on, NFL. NFL, you got to do better than that. You got to. You just can't point out a story in life, in time, and say to it through the world that the person that caught the Hail Mary pass is not in the Hall. Come on. All right, Frankie Frank, appreciate you, man. Thank you for tuning in. International fans, yes, coming all the way. Hey, the first game is going to be lit. I'm talking about it's going to be on fire. It's going to be so crunk that when we play against the New York Giants, they're going to be like, man, what team is this we playing against? Because still, let's just go over the roster real quick. And this is not going to be the full in-depth breakdown of the roster. This is just going to be just me just kind of like highlighting. And we were going to do like a recap of last week's game, but it's already Tuesday, so it's kind of like really too far out, right? Everybody been already, I guess, scanning over what happened with the previous preseason game. Dak Prescott, he still looked polished, and the first few passes, not to just be all biases, and I'm just give you guys my true thoughts of it. The first few passes was kind of off the marker, right? The ball was behind Gallup. One pass sailed over his head. But the thing that I like about Dak Prescott, and I'm just going to give you guys a quick recap anyway, since I'm live like 95. The ball that passed and sailed over Dak Prescott, he made the necessary adjustments. And there's something about perseverance. It's something about when the pressure and all of the time of the world and the weight of the world is on your shoulders, and you just shake it off and you continue to grind, and he continued to play. And I think they scored a touchdown on the second series. That's Dak Prescott, you see. So what I'm saying is that we got us a gem and a quarterback. Now, looking back at Tony Pollard's game, I do know that there was a few plays that was called back, but from what I was able to see, and all of the film breakdowns is out there, from what I was able to see with my natural eyes of Tony Pollard, he got a little something in him. The kid is going to be special. Now, we just need favor to fall in our way, right? We're going to touch a little bit on the defense, George. Yes. So both of those things look good. Gallup looks sharp out there, focusing, catching, snatching the ball out of the sky. Oh, I want to throw in this shameless plug. He's part of the Cowboys Experience as well. So guys got to get out the Cowboys Experience, Cowboys XP. We got Michael Gallup part of this thing, being in the mix. So, and then hopefully we can get him on the show for 15 to maybe 5 to 15 minutes, Don't want to take up all of his time. We want number 13 to continue to shine, I will be at the Dolphins versus the Cowboys game. Richard Ramirez, I can't wait to see you. We can't wait to see you. We can't wait. All right, so the offensive side of the ball. Tight end play, we solid with that, right? Everybody's secure with Jason Witten being the number one tight end, Blake Jarwin being number 2. We secured with that, right? The wide receiver play, we already know that Amari Cooper played with that foot injury last year. So I don't think that there's going to be a situation where he sits out week 1. I think that the best way that you can heal that particular injury on the heel is rest. and still work out some plyometrics and things like that down the line and upper body strengths and things of that nature. So we're not worried that much because we see the growth parameters of Michael Gallup. Now when we talk about number 18, if you know what I mean, Randall Cobb. He looks poised out there. He's running those short intermediate routes, which is cool. I like what I was able to see out of him in those limited plays. So the offense looked great. I'm going to use the word great, And I know that a lot of people say, it's preseason, Law. What are you thinking? But for preseason, they look great. It's just that now they got to show up this holding call. It was 3 holding calls by number 63. I think he's off of this team. I don't think that he makes this team. Number 63, you guys can put his number down in the chat box to help me out. But I don't think 63 makes his team. He had 3 holding calls. Now, holding calls, in my opinion, coach used to say holding calls come from straight effort. When you get beat, and you know for sure that your guy's finna win, you hold. And when you cheat and when you fatigue, you hold. So it's all about the concentration of your mind. So I don't think that 63 is there, if we can talk a little bit honestly about that offensive line. But for this to be a makeshift offensive line, because we didn't have Tyron Smith out there, and then we didn't have a Zach Martin. Collectively, they did okay, but everything else was great. I'm going to say that word loosely. As you guys already know, I just explained the reason why. And La'el Collins is hurt. I don't know. You guys can put that down in the chat box, how long La'el Collins will be out. Rumors or news are saying that he's out. So we're going to have to figure out how we can get him back into the mix. All the wide receivers, I think Devin Smith is going to shine. Yes, Georgia. Yeah, he will shine. Campos. Thank you, Sean. Campos. Shame pose. That's what I'm gonna call him, because it's a shame, man. He's the drive killer. And of course I do know that it was a tic-tac call on number 52 and it was a tic-tac call on number 82. And I know they ain't names. Of course we know who number 82 is. Reliable. And number 52, Williams. So moving on to this defense. Is anybody worried about Robert Quinn not playing week 1 or week 2? Nobody. And I know it's a sample size with this defense. But what I'm looking at is the fact that Rob Marinelli, he coaches those guys hard. When I was out there in training camp, I had to blotch out some of the segments because he was giving these players some handful above PG-13 conversation, you see. But I would say, they retain that information well, especially D.A., Dorrance Armstrong. We see the growth in tacos of all people. We see that, which is fantastic, huh? Rodney Ellis says number 81 can't catch. That's a story of a different day. Well, hopefully next year, maybe he can make this practice squad. But going back to defense. We must continue to keep that same energy, because we do know that if we like what we was able to see with our eyes, you can only imagine when D-Law gets back out there on the field. And then Donovan Wilson, he showed up as well. I do like the fact that Cheeto Awuzie and number 30, they both still was out there shining. All right, Cowboy Nation. What I'm going to do now is open the phone lines up for everybody. So if you guys want to give me or share your thoughts with me, just feel free to call 682-214-4087. We're going to try to keep it under a minute or so. Just throw me your opinion, your thoughts of the game, the upcoming season. Give me one player that you really love to see out there on the field, and we can go back and forth that way. Or, if you just want to call in and say, hey, man, I'm from Bagdo, Idaho, or I'm from New Mexico. You know what I'm saying? Just give me a call from there. If you're from Canada, hey, you got to work those long-distance stuff out on your end. But the phone number is 682. It's on the bottom of the TV screen. Oh, we got somebody already. 570, talk to me.
Yeah, man, I really looking at what the Cowboys are doing in the preseason. I really see them going to the Super Bowl. They just got to get this thing settled up with Zeke, and I think it'll be done by the time Labor Day weekend is over, and then they'll concentrate on doing what you need to do. You're doing a great job. I really appreciate you talking about my Cowboys. I'm in Pennsylvania. I grew up as a Cowboy fan. I'm going to die a Cowboy fan.
Woo, man! And you surrounded by what, the Philadelphia Eagles and the Steelers. Man, I love it. I love every bit of
at
it.
my job, they wear their jerseys. They wear their jerseys. I wear mine, and I tell them, look, y'all know y'all going to get a spanking. And when they did, hey, I'm telling you, it is amazing. The season's going to be amazing. I see them going.
Oh, man, fantastic, man. I really appreciate you. Thank you for calling in to the show, man. Thank you so much, man.
Thank you. I watch your show all the time.
Yes, indeed, man. You're a soldier, fam. Appreciate you.
Take care.
Take care. All right, that was good, man. That was good. So, he's in the heart of Pennsylvania, man. He's up there with all of the Philadelphia Eagles guys, the Baltimore Ravens, that close to that area as well, and the Steelers. I know that they heavily over there. But Cowboy Nation, we are so close to everything because silver and blue is everywhere we go. Terrence Carter, appreciate you. Yes, let's see what we got. We're listening in to the 814. Talk to me. They ran off. So 814 ran off. If you made a mistake and hit the wrong button, just call back in and we can get this conversation for the nation going. Joseph, we have a good team this year. Yes, I do agree. Our team is so good. Now, we just got small things that we have to work on. Small things. All right, we have the 301. Come on in. You're listening in to the nation.
Hey, Law, this is Josh Branson calling from actually like 13 miles outside of D.C. in Rockville, Maryland, DMV area, kind of close to Mark Holmes. But,
wow.
Yeah, I just wanted to say thanks again for everything you do. I called back a couple weeks ago and how much of a difference that makes. This team's playing legit now. I mean, you can tell, like, the camaraderie and how they're gelling together. Even on defense, I'm really liking that Michael Gallup and Dak connection coming together. I want to see a little bit more out of Randall Cobb, but we'll just wait until Amari Cooper's on the field and see how he does with Dak.
Oh, yeah.
Trying to talk quick here, and I know you said keep it to a minute, and I want everybody else to get a chance to call in and talk to their fan. But, I want this Ezekiel Elliott situation to just be done and over with. Get him back on the field, pay him whatever you got to pay him to get him back. Let's just go all in and try to go for a Super Bowl run, especially with all the questions going on with the Giants and the Eagles and the Redskins. I mean, we don't even know about what the Eagles even going to look like. They're kind of an older team, beat-down team, and Carson Wentz kind of injury-prone. But anyway, Law, thank you so much, man, for answering the call. God bless.
Amen to that, man. Thank you, 301. Yes, indeed. So, look, this team, we are in the right path, Cowboy Nation. Look, he said a great point with the Redskins situation. Man, they don't know who their quarterback is. 843. Yes, you're alive with the nation, man. Talk to the nation.
What's going on, love? Antoine, man, from Charleston, South Carolina.
Antoine, appreciate you, man. Talk to me.
Man, what you think about Cedric Wilson, man? I've been on this man team since last year, man. I think he could do something big for us if we put him on the roster.
I think that he brings in an extra element of special team as well as a guy that if you need an inside wide receiver, why not? We see the growth factor with him going into his second year. To me personally, he ran a better route combination in college than Michael Gallup. Now, of course, Michael Gallup didn't improve all the way. But what if this guy can be like the next person that can improve all the way too? Once he get that year under his belt.
Too. And he give us some punt return stuff too. You saw in the other game, he was a good punt return he gave us, man.
Very, very good. He got deceptive speed, and I'm gonna use this guy as a comparable. And I hope that you guys don't get mad, but he's not very fast, but he catches the ball, and he reminds me of running the ball like Patrick Creighton. You remember him?
Exactly. Yes, sir.
Yes, indeed. But, it's we will see whether or not Saturday if they will keep him on his team. But I think that he made that roster there.
I appreciate you, love, man. Keep pushing, man.
Oh, man, really appreciate you, man. Continue to go, man. DC for life, fam. Yes, indeed, man. Cowboy Nation, hotline, Wado, yes. Put some respect on Lyle Collins' name. This is Dre the Great. Yes, indeed. We got 571 rapid fire calls. 571, talk to us.
Hi, Lon. This is Joseph from Virginia.
Joseph, what's good, man? Talk to me.
Yeah. Oh, one of the guys, just take a look at a roster. Key thing to look for this next game is that running back number 3 spot.
Running back number 3. All right, so we know that they're going to save a spot for Ezekiel Elliott, right? It'd be crazy for them not to. So we got...
Right.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, of course. But I'm not including fullback into that running back spot.
Oh, okay. So that's a good. This would be my go. It will be a toss up between Mike Weber and Jordan Chon, but I would try to stash Weber on the practice squad if possible, because I like that bigger back. I like what I was able to see from Jordan Chon, so I would go with Ezekiel, of course, Tony Pollard, Alfred Morris, and then that other guy would be Jordan Chon. That's 4 though. Good Lord.
Right.
Dog, that's gonna be a hard decision. See how hard it is, man.
Hey. Yeah. Oh, by the way, this might be why they probably haven't played back as much. So they actually can hide him.
Repeat it again. Say again.
Oh, perhaps they're hiding Weber for the practice squad. Maybe that's why they haven't been playing as much.
Right. That would be the better move, to hide him a little bit, stash him away, just like they did Rico Gathers, And I would think that would be the best option. But there are teams out there that need running backs. The Houston Texans, they might give him they might just bring him in for a quick interview and a cup of coffee. You see. So if we can get him on the practice squad, that would be a plus. But I definitely like Chon's ability to catch out of the backfield, play special teams, and he's a big physical guy that I'm not afraid to put him in as it relates to goal line situations.
Right, and that's the other thing you have to keep in mind with that is ability to play special teams.
There you go.
To make the 46 or the 53.
Yeah. So it's going to be a hard problem, man, and I'm glad we're not making that decision. Anything else you got on your mental?
No, Log, because I know you have a lot of callers.
Oh, man, I really appreciate it, man. Continue to support the nation, man. And I can't wait for us to host that Lombardi Trophy, man. That's going to be real tears out of my eyes, man.
Same thing for me, Log, because I deal with enough stuff with some Eagle fans and Skids fans around here.
Yeah. Most certainly.
Well, tell you what, I'll see you later in the chat.
All right, fam. Appreciate you, man. Thank you for tuning in to the nation.
You're welcome.
Salute. Alex Jones, thank you for making this super chat, man. Thank you for making the donation to help grow this nation. Man, that was a great call. A very, very, very great call. I think Morris stays because of veteran experience. Yes, indeed. 609 is on our mind. Let's go ahead and tune in to 609. Talk to us.
Hey, Law, how you doing? Blake from Philadelphia.
Philly, man, what's good, man?
What's happening?
Nothing much, man. Talk to me.
I can't tell you how much I've been nail biting about Maher, and not a lot of talk has come up about it.
Well, this is the thing with Brett, and now I think I hear a little echo from your end over there. If you can turn it down just a little bit. My thing is with Brett, is another thing, as we say, conundrum. If you get rid of him, you don't know who you're going to get. I like this old saying, deal with the devil you say. So we know that he can make the long-distance kicks. We know that he missed a few short-distance kicks. And then one of those kicks from last year, it was a snap infraction, and that was supposedly being not a snap infraction. So I'm not going to count that against him. So in a pinch, I'll just deal with the devil I know, or ride the horse we rode in on.
I think that's what we have to do, and exactly, absolutely, I hear you. Mm-hmm. And you know, we might have to walk away from the television a couple times, but I guess you know what. He makes those long punts.
We used to walk away from the television when Bailey was there in his prime. We used to say, okay, we know that there's 3 points. We can go get our coffee. We can go get our drinks. We can go re-up on popcorn. But now you're going to see a bead of sweat coming down my head, you know, and I'm going to be sitting there staring and making sure I got my lucky socks on that day. And we're going to be hoping that he makes that kick.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so true.
Yes.
Yeah, well, I tell you what. It's rough out here, like the other one said, out in Pennsylvania, but hey, we hold it down, and Cowboy Nation for life. God bless, and thank you for what you do, all.
Yes, indeed. Hey, before you run, so do you work around a lot of those fans too, those opposing fans?
Oh, I have about 300 Eagles fans. I'm the only Cowboys fan in my whole at my work.
Wow.
And actually, wore my Witten jersey today.
Hey, this is the thing. Let me know if this happens to you. All right, when we lose